Welcome back, and now it's time for part 2 where we're discussing media trends. Every week we talk about a different media trend, and we have a live show with Talk and Talk. And we've in the studio, we've got Dennis and Tim, and we've also got special listener guest Grace.
Woo! Welcome, Grace, to the studio.
Yay.
Okay. All right. Hey, doing?
Briefly introduce yourself, Grace.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Grace. I'm a civil servant. I work for the Gochang County Office. I'm a team manager of the Bujang Administration and Welfare Center.
Really good.
Wow,
All right.
impressive.
She's from Gochang, right? I love Gochang. Okay. Do you know any nice place in Gochang? No?
Do I?
Yeah, James.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Hey, you have been living in Korea for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
there's a really nice beach, Kushipo, the name, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yes, okay.
Takes just
Yeah.
40 minutes, right? Tim, right?
Why
You've
are
never
you
been
asking
there.
me? You're the one who loves Gochang. I have no idea about the place.
I love travel. Okay.
So how is everybody today?
Same old and a little new because we have Grace today. Okay, really nice. It's still cloudy and the coronavirus outbreak, so feel stuffy, right? Okay. Anyway, I'm really happy to see you guys again. All right.
Really?
Yeah. Not really. To you? All right.
And
How about you?
Grace, how are you?
I'm doing great. This is my first broadcasting appearance, so I'm a little bit nervous right
You're
now.
doing great. You're
Yeah.
doing
You're doing a
great.
good job.
Yeah. Okay. How about super villain?
Okay, first of all, I'm not a super villain. I'm a best villain, and I'm starved and tired.
Really? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, when you're saying that not a super villain, just a killer, is it just laughing a lot? Really? Out of the studio? No?
You know, she would disagree to anything I would say.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so we get into today's topic.
Yeah, we are ready.
Sure, what was the topic again? I forgot.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about the program Wide and Wise. Okay.
Wide and wise, not wise and wide. Okay, wide and wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So GFN's Wide and Wise is a weekly show that allows Korean listeners to easily solve their questions related to English, such as expressions, grammar, and easy English mistakes with the help of English experts from Cheonnam National University. And it's also the guest, the bilingual radio guest, Yu Eun-tae. So this is an English educational program aimed towards Koreans. Have you ever heard it?
To be honest, I've never heard of it, but it must be a very good program.
It sounds a really good program. And my first show just started with the Tae, okay, the host Tae.
Oh, you
Okay.
did?
The former program's name is Saturday Brunch, maybe, right? That was my first broadcasting, and I was rated with GFN. Okay, thanks to Tae. All right, it was a really nice, great show because GFN had just only the most part just focuses on kind of foreign network rights, but this program just focuses on the Korean network, right? We have some kind of connection between Koreans and local Koreans and foreign residents, right? So I think it's just really nice program, right, team? Come on,
Oh,
man.
what?
Okay,
You're
wake up.
speaking?
All right.
Alright. Okay, in my opinion, first of all, I'd like to mention something. Who named this show?
You.
No, seriously, no offense, but the name just sounds so mundane. It's like, Wide and Wise. Someone had a terrible naming sense. Other than that, I actually heard this show from time to time, They were actually, talking about like a common mistake that Koreans make sometimes, talking about Koreans' Konglish expression and sometimes English expression. So in that regard, I think they're doing a good job. I don't know how much they're actually effective in educating people in the worldwide, but I mean local wide in this case, but I think they're doing a decent job of maybe changing a name would be a nice step.
Yeah, I'm wondering who made this program's name. Why Wide and Wise? Why Wide? Wide is kind of worldwide, or
I guess that's where the name comes from. I don't know, but I guess like wide as in because they cover a lot, and wise because they're teaching people to be wise.
Okay. What do you think about that, Grace?
Well, actually, a couple of years ago, I commuted to my workplace for about 40 minutes.
Really?
At the time, I started to listen to GFN. At first, I was very surprised that this kind of English radio broadcast company is in Gwangju.
Oh, really
Yeah.
good. From where to where? From your...
Oh, yeah. I at the time, live in Gochang. From Gochang to Bujang. This place, Mujangmyeon. At the time, I work in the Mujangmyeon.
So Mujang town. Where is
administration and welfare center at the time. It's just the same.
James? You know where the Mujang is?
무장.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Mujang.
James and I, we're kind of making a same face. Even the audience can
Mujang
see
sounded
it.
like a fighting
Oh, no,
general.
no.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Where is it? Is in Gochang, right?
It takes about 40 minutes and it's very famous for 무장 읍성. Do you know 전봉준?
I know. You know, James?
동학
You can't see it, listeners. This is the face of confusion.
There was the Joseon Dynasty, the history.
Yeah.
There is a kind of a civil uprising, and the kind of one civilian general, right?
You mean
He
the
was
famous
named as-
guy, the famous farmer who
Jeonbong-jun.
started a bunch of
Oh.
uprising
Oh,
and
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
He had to
rebelled?
come here, and he made his own house here.
Yeah, maybe.
So he had to leave Seoul.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hey, no,
Okay, anyway,
history.
yeah, all right.
Maybe we're talking about different
Okay,
things.
all right.
Yeah.
Kind of a historical time.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Grace, you said you listened and you were very surprised. to
Oh
hear
yeah,
English.
I was very surprised. This kind of English radio program is in Gwangju. Oh,
Yeah, it was kind of surprising news to me. Yeah, it was almost 10 years ago, right? I was so surprised to hear the GFN radio news. Okay, really nice. Okay.
It wasn't a surprise to me because I did know before
Yeah.
it started. But I had some friends who were DJs at the very first
Mhm.
time it started. In fact, my old friend Michael Simning, he was the very first person to talk on on GFN, as far as I know. But yeah, a lot of Koreans, they just don't know.
First time when you just got to the Gwangju district area again, you just started your life. You didn't know the GFN, right?
Well, I came to Korea before GFN started.
I got it.
So yeah, but after that, no Koreans ever know about it. My students have never heard of GFN.
So you promote it.
I do tell them I don't like to say that I'm on it.
I'm a host.
No, because I don't like that self promotion. But yeah, I do tell them about it so they can use it as a way to try and study.
I think now they know because we are just Facebook. And
I'm pretty sure
YouTube.
my students are not
Oh, you're a
awake
superstar.
at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
I got it. All right.
So is this like our way of saying that our advertisement team need to work on their stuff more hardly, or?
Maybe.
Alright, so it was like an indirect criticism. Okay,
right.
alright. So Grace, were you also surprised by my appearance?
oh, I was very scary about your appearance.
See? Yeah, see? That's the honest opinion, right?
No, no, I'm smiling though.
Oh,
Okay, never mind.
Smiling
Move
face,
on.
and
It's like a
wearing
ghost-
mask.
ghost.
Yeah.
James, move on.
Okay, so do you think it's a good idea to have this English education type program on GFN?
Yeah, sure. I think because we have the major, the broadcasting company. The name is EBS, right? EBS just deal. Hey, come on! EBS is dealing with kind of half of kind of for Korea and half of for the foreigners, right? So we have the GFN. I think have to make kind of balance, right? Right? Yeah. But still the foreign residents is kind of the minor society, right? So it's just making bigger, just GFN can help, and then maybe we have some point of time we have to just connect the two, just the society major and the minor societies through that program, Wide&Wise or some other programs, right? Okay, I think it is. How about you think, Tim?
I just had no idea what you just said, but alright. I think yes. EBS. I personally don't really have a high opinions about them. I watched their show before, just as a reference before I got my job. Just trying to compare our education system to theirs, since everybody's talking about EBS. Even my uncle is talking about it because he's apparently studying for some, English test or something. I'm like, oh well, where you go, Uncle?
You're right.
You're not gonna learn much though. So, I would say this: EBS, they do have their own quirks and their own benefits to it. While I think our own English education TV show with the terrible naming sense, Wide&Wise, would also provide a lot of feedback that you cannot actually gain access to the from the public TV shows such as EBS or other KBS English studio programs. So in that regard, I think we are doing a great job. But lacking a visual element is something that people are always going to be wanting in the future when they're actually getting education.
Okay, so let's take a moment and have a song break.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
it's
sure.
your request, Tim. So do you
Oh
want to
yes,
introduce
I
it first?
always know though,
Your song,
just the
okay.
right song to play in the break time. It is a Runaway Baby by Bruno Mars.
Okay, here it is.
Runaway
It's a really great song, by the way. You guys should check it out.
Really? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I will check it out.
It's like a nice party song.
Nice party song, right? What's the rhythm?
Okay, so when we come back, I'll ask you about this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, Chris, sorry, just with us, Chris, we just enjoy the show. Just you can
I
enjoy
prepare
the
my
show, okay? No
script.
worries, no worries. Okay.
No, it's okay. I never write my script.
Okay.
Everybody ready?
You're ready.
Okay, so let's keep talking about today's topic. So, Grace, I've got a question for you. Do you think that GFN needs to have more educational programs for Koreans?
Oh well, we are very afraid to talk with native speakers, and we have not had many chances to meet them. So many kind of English programs are needed.
So I have just one question to Grace. So when you're working in your just office, right?
Yeah.
So how many percentage of the foreigners you can just get?
Not at all.
Ah,
There is
okay.
no chance.
All right.
There is
No chance to speak in English.
If many listeners participated in Japan and they had many chances to talk with native speakers, there would be a great motivation to study English.
So that's why just you listen to GFN because you need English. We're kind of thirsty, right? Ah, I got it. That's really good. Okay. Oh, don't happen me like that, T. All right. Okay.
So I have a question for all you guys. Is it a scary thing to approach a native speaker and talk to them? Native English speaker, I should say.
How about you, T? You first. Come on.
Me?
Yeah.
Of all people, who's been never
Because
been
you
afraid
stayed
to-
in US, right? For your middle and high school, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, when I was in middle school. So my experience was, well, generally speaking, most of the student has this, traumatic experience with English. Not because they are afraid of foreigners or anything. I mean, that might be part too, because they watch movies and a lot of stupid shows nowadays and believe everything on TV. But they also have this traumatic experience with English because of their, excessive amount of studying. So obviously, when they start hearing things that they don't know and they don't understand, despite of the amount of effort they put in into the studying this language, obviously they get a little freaked out from time to time. Some students even showing symptoms of about to throw up or something in the street while upon hearing that great English from foreigner. I'm maybe exaggerating, but I personally didn't really fear that much from the foreigner or speaking to the foreigners, even when I was in the United States, because I was thinking to myself, well, if I'm gonna, learn it, might as well just go to them and say hi and start a conversation with my broken English, right? Nothing will start if you do not start anything. And that is my opinion. And do I think GFN requires more English education, broadcasting show or maybe program? I would say yes and no. Like I say, lacking visual element will, really discourage people from, actually listening to the radio for educational purpose. But at the same time, I do believe GFN has its own, special quality that can provide some tips and other, very unique way of teaching that cannot be provided by the public services such as EBS and KBS and some of the other studios.
Well, actually, to me, there's just two parts. Okay, in a real life, I was pretty just confident that to speak in English to just read the foreigners' rights. But actually, ironically, just in school, because of kind of the English scores, that made me scared. Right? So it's kind. I don't understand why the Korean education makes the kind of students kind of just a little depressed to speak in English. So okay, that's my.
Yeah, a lot of I find from my outside view, a lot of Koreans don't want to talk English because they're afraid of making a mistake.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
to be fair, it's kind of the same for me talking Korean. When I
How about you, James?
when I try to speak Korean and I make a mistake, it is embarrassing. When I say simple words wrong, so I understand it.
Yeah, but Korean people were so warm to you, right? So the conversation went very well, right? Right? So like that, please.
Dennis, you sound like one of those promoters from the government. Obviously, we just want to point at the foreigners and loud, right?
Yes, probably.
I got it.
Okay, so Grace, what kind of programs do you think would be good for listeners?
Oh, we are not very familiar with the discussion culture and don't like to debate.
You're right.
However, we should try to debate a wide range of topics in order to improve our English skill.
You're right. You're right.
So, did you guys ever do debate at school?
Never.
Yeah, never. Yeah, that's the problem of Korean
Yeah,
education.
yeah.
Okay, right.
I thought debate was a big part of American education. No?
No, I'm talking about when I was in Korea,
when you were in
obviously.
Korea, okay.
How about
Prior
in
to
UK?
United
How about in
States.
UK? Debate is the big part of
No.
education.
No, I don't
Not a
think
big
I
part.
ever.
Really?
I never did a structured debate.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in class we always had discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're encouraged to explain our opinion, but never a formal debate structure.
Okay, there is not much kind of debate part, but there is only every time that there is discussion, right? The Korean education doesn't even have any discussion time. Okay, that's the worst. Okay.
Well, it's changing.
Yeah, it's
It's
changing.
changing.
It's changing, but
You're-
it takes
You're an
100
old
years.
guy. You're an old
Yeah.
guy, Dennis. It's
All right.
changed. Okay.
Well, now, I know you guys are boomers, but you don't have to spell it out.
Whoa. I am not a boomer. I'm not even Gen Z. I'm a millennial. Still a millennial.
All right.
Technically, I'm towards the very start of it, but technically a millennial.
Oh, okay. All right.
So do you think debate's a good idea?
Well, then debating is still kind of a tough topic to the older listeners and the older English learners, right? Even
like
to
you?
Yeah, English speakers too. Okay, so I think the debate and the discussion is a little look same and look different, right? Just first step is should be I think the discussion first, just the soft and easy talking, and then just go into the further more the more deep topic, right? I think that's better. Sometimes you just we have a kind of talk about kind of May 18th uprising movement or just light topic, the trend issue, right? I think that the mixing is pretty nice. Okay.
Actually, I had a question for Grace, if you don't mind.
Oh,
I was just wondering, since you're working for the government and you're one of the officials that are working for them, I was wondering, do you think from your perspective point of view, it would be possible to perhaps, implement the changes in our education system in the near future?
Hey, it's too
Oh,
tough.
it's
It's
very
too
deep
tough.
question.
Come on,
It's very
dude.
I'm just asking
Oh.
opinion. I'm just asking opinion. Do you think it is possible?
Oh yeah, discussing pros and cons about some topic is worth a good matter. Actually, last year I participated in education program at the local government officials development institute for 10 months. During that time, we participated in the 1 month global practical English and policy study at Georgia University in the United States. At the time, we debated with each other about some topic every day. The teacher said that this kind of practice would be very good for your English. Anyway,
So see, government is actually
Wow,
trying.
she's well prepared.
Yeah, there you
It's really
go.
nice. Oh my God, that's a nice offense, nice defense.
See, guys, you guys were underestimating our guest.
Well,
I just knew the right question to ask.
well, Grace, I'm going to vote for you.
Oh,
Okay, so let's get back to talking about our program Wide&Wise. So I think I'm a teacher here in Korea. I'm professor at Chosun, and I really think that could be an extremely useful resource for Koreans trying to learn English. And my students often ask me, how can I get better at English? And I always say practice, and practice.
yeah, but many times the Korean students, they don't just understand what the mean is practice, right? They are still lazy, right, to practice
Well,
English. right?
yeah, I mean they do understand it.
Yeah, they know practice is really important, but yeah, their action is a little different, right?
Well, that's why I think this could be a great show, because it gives them a chance, and it's just one more chance to practice.
You're right.
And sometimes I think listening to us, it can be a little bit scary, because we're talking in English and we talk quite quickly
You're
too,
right.
and we don't try to explain ourselves in Korean. So
That's
this
fine.
program where they have the chance to listen to some English and have it explained, the meaning and any cultural aspects behind it to them, it's explained in Korean.
You're
I think
right.
that's a really good idea.
You're right.
So one thing I want to know, I wish GFN had the equivalent program to learn Korean?
Why not? Why not?
Is that your personal wish?
Yes, this is my personal wish.
There is a one kind of about the dialect learning section, right?
I mean,
Yes,
something like
there is a few programs.
it's not
that
enough,
have-
right?
Well, no, there's programs that have sections to learn Korean, but the problem is, it's too difficult.
Yeah,
Ah.
I would agree with that.
Like I listened to it and I'm like, I have no idea what was just said.
Why don't GFN make
Zero.
kind of the programs named for the foreigners to learn Korean? Okay, more narrow and smaller, wide and wide.
Like down to the fundamental level.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I don't want a program going 안녕하세요. Like that's
Correct
not what,
pronunciation. Okay, 10 point.
okay, thank you. I don't think we need a program like that. But also a lot of the Korean educational programs on GFN, it's just way above my level. So maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should have studied harder.
I think you really have a good idea because it is a GFN, right? For foreign network, right? They want to learn Korean, right? Oh wow, we need more channel of the Korean learning, right? I think. Yeah, come on.
Okay,
Please,
what
agree
happened then is who gave you the money today, huh?
No,
where did you
I
get the
want
money?
GFN.
All right. I mean, I think that's actually a great idea. Actually, I listened to some of those dialect show that introduce, unique. I'd say unique, but very rare Korean expression on the show sometime. And I can tell it is targeted while it is targeted to the foreigners audience. At the same time, it is quite high level of a Korean expression that they're teaching there. And sometimes I do understand their curriculum is not necessarily designed for foreigners, in my opinion. Sometimes it just sounds like they just want to introduce, unique and cool expression that foreigners might use like once in their lifetime. So maybe having a little channel that teaches the fundamentals about regarding Koreans would be a good idea.
Okay, so unfortunately, guys, we run out of time.
Really?
Yeah.
Always
it's gone quick.
short.
I can finally have some breakfast. I mean,
Okay, so that was all for Talk and Talk on our segment with Team Dennis and our special guest Grace discussing media trends. Thank you, Grace.
It was
for coming
really
Thank
graceful.
you.
It was
Thank
really
you.
graceful.
in. You did a great job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Woo.
Okay, so that's all. I'll see you two guys next week.
Okay, all right. Thank you for having me.
and if you're still alive, and not
Okay.
affected by
We're still
coronavirus.
alive.
Okay. All right, that's all. Goodbye.
All right, bye bye. Happy
Bye.
happy Sunday. Bye bye.